to Fox Valley Today. I'm your host, Anne Vickery. Thank you very much for joining us. My guest today is Kelly Woodward. Kelly is the new Activities Director from the Oswego Senior Center over in Oswego. Good morning, Kelly, and welcome.
Good morning.
Now, when did you take over there for Lorraine, who was, I can remember being over there 7, 8, 9 years ago, and they were just really getting going on the activities. And Lorraine was so excited. And she just jumped right into that role.
Oh,
so you had some big shoes to fill.
I have very big shoes to fill. I'll say she's missed in the role, but she does still come to lunch up there.
And I'm sure she can give you a lot of hints as to what was good.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And so you are not an Oswego native.
I am not.
And where did you come from?
I moved up here a little over about a year and a half ago from northern Mississippi, Olive Branch, Mississippi.
What brought you and your family to Kendall County?
My husband was transferred. He works for a company that's in downtown Chicago.
Well, that makes a pretty easy commute from Aurora anyway if he takes the train.
Well, he travels a lot, so it's nice that he doesn't have to go downtown all the time. Mainly
He's just going to O'Hare or Midway. Doing a lot of that.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Kendall County. I think you're in with a great organization,
Yes.
the Oswego Seniors over there. They've been very active, and I want to say, that thing started out as just a lunch program, in the Church of the Good Shepherd, probably 14 or 15 years ago, and it's just been growing ever since.
It has. It has.
So you took over for Lorraine. When was that?
The end of February.
The end of February. So you're just kind of a newbie then.
I'm a newbie to the role,
just
yes.
a few weeks now into it. So tell me about your background and how, your background in coordinating and putting things together and analyzing what needs to be done.
Well, my background was I was an analyst at an airline for a handful of years. So I did all the safety statistics. So I'm good with data. And then I became at-home mom for years, and I was the president of the PTO for multiple years for the schools, so organizing fundraisers, events for the schools, and whatnot. And then moved up here, and I needed something to do, and I saw the job post. I came on as their newsletter coordinator and answering the phones, and
so you kind of took over a little bit for some of Pat Feely's jobs too, right?
I think all of them were sharing the newsletter when I first came in, and they had volunteers that were doing the phones when they could get the volunteers on the phone up there, and came in to do that, and then started doing data entry because I have a knack with computers. I'm pretty good at them. They don't scare me, and so I started doing the data entry, and it just kind of grew
from there.
Yeah.
Right. So, did you make some changes in the activities program? Did you come in right away and see some things that you might want to change up?
She had set up really well, and she had multiple trips already set up for the year. There's just a couple things I've started doing where I've been talking to the seniors at the center and asking what trips they want to see next year so they can start planning, financially if they want to do something, and just start doing classes in there. I'm going to try to do a class or two a month as some type of activity to get the seniors to the center and having fun.
Right. And so are you, that is an organization that has been growing.
Yes.
I mean, every year they seem to pick up a few more. Obviously, seniors, they're always going to lose a few too.
Yes.
But they've been one of the most active senior organizations that I've seen. And really hung in there for a group that, and I know for lunch, sometimes they have as many as maybe 130. That's a pretty high number, but they average usually 90 or 100, on Mondays and Thursdays. Plus, they've added some breakfast, right?
Yes, we have breakfast for the first 4 Tuesdays of the month, and the first Tuesday is a veterans breakfast.
Right.
So they have their special table, and they share their stories, and it's very interesting to sit at
Plus,
that table.
they've been doing some cooking.
We do an international cooking class once a month. Sandy does that one, and that's very popular, always full. Sometimes we get so many people that she has to do it twice and cook the same meal twice in a row, and
fun.
Oh, yeah.
So what have you got coming up over there that you'd like to talk about or share, or some ideas?
Well, we have for April, we have a couple things. We have our Culinary Bites. That's going to be the Culinary Expo, where we have vendors come in, and they do a couple little specialty little mini dishes that
Right.
they do, and there's usually about 6 to 10 good-sized booths of them, and you come hungry and you leave very, very
So
full.
it's kind of like a taste of the Oswego seniors.
Yes, we have, you know, I know, like, we've had, like, last year we had Symphony, the Tillers,
I
Guards,
see.
you know, like, they'll come in, their chefs decide to prepare something special, and they, like I said, they just do little mini
tasting
things of tasting, and it's very, very good. And that is the 3rd, April 3rd.
3rd of April, okay.
11 to 1.
Uh-huh.
And it will be in the gym at the center.
Right, okay.
Because it's going to be bigger this year.
How many different vendors do you have coming in?
I believe we have 10 this time. I never got a final number on what it was going to be the last I.
But that's a pretty good number.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And, you know, you're still working with that gentle yoga. What kind of group do you have come out for that? Is that quite a few?
Yes, we do. The instructor, Nita, she's wonderful, and they all love her. You know, they work with the chairs. She modifies for the different levels that you get, and we have actually gotten feedback from doctors that are saying, you know, keep them doing what they're doing. Yes. Yeah.
And that's kind of one of these things where they build the core strength. You know, maybe they're kind of lifting themselves up or pushing themselves through.
You know, with chairs,
Right,
working with
right,
chairs,
working with
and
chairs.
they'll have the foam blocks that she's having them move and do the weights. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, people forget that that core strength is so very important.
Yes.
If a senior falls, and, you know, you always hear this commercial, I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, you might have broke something. But a lot of times it's this core
don't have
strength
the
that through
strength to
here
get
that
yourself
you
up.
can't get yourself to someplace to even pull yourself up, even crawl over to a couch.
Right.
I've got a friend who fell. He couldn't even crawl to the couch.
Oh.
That's how weak.
Right.
But he just doesn't have any strength left in it.
Well, and we also have our Heart and Bones, and they focus a lot on the core as well. And we have that 5 days a week now. Joni Grant, wonderful
I've
instructor.
got to
and
have her on. People talk about her all the time.
she has this contagious can-do attitude that you want to go in there and just do whatever she says. I mean, she is wonderful, and it's been so popular that she was doing it just a couple days a week. Now we moved it to 5 days a week, and just last week she had 35 people show up for one
And
of
what
her
kind
classes.
of exercises are they doing? Are they stretching? Or?
It's stretching. It's working with weights. It's working with the bands, like some resistance training. It's strengthening the core. She has them working with the chairs, cardio. I mean, it's
how
a
long
little
of a
bit of
class is
everything.
it?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. And what time of the day do they meet?
It depends on the day. We have 3 days where it's in the morning times. Like I know on Wednesday and Friday it's at 9 a.m. And then I believe on Tuesdays it's at 10 in the morning. And then on Mondays it's at 3:15, and Thursdays it's at 3.
Okay.
Because we wanted to hit, make sure we're hitting 2 different groups, because some couldn't come in the morning.
And you know what? That's important, because everybody can't, you know, everybody can't make a morning class or an afternoon class. And if you break it up like that, people can say, well, I know I got this on Tuesdays and Fridays, but I can certainly come Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And then we have some that they have changed their schedules because they want to be there
They
with their every
just want
class.
to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
And if there's anything I hate about any kind of thing, and I think people feel the same way sometimes even about their jobs, it's the tied down to that time. You know, I know that I can't just, and I'm not saying that about myself, because my job's pretty flexible, but a lot of people say, you know, I'd love to do it, but I can't commit every morning from 9 to 10:30. It's just the way it is, you know. So I think that's a great idea.
Yes. I'll say very popular.
Okay, you know, I was always going to ask you guys about your gift shop over there. What kind of items do you carry in your gift
Oh,
shop?
I love our gift
Are
shop.
these gently used things? Or?
They have shoes, and they have some clothes that are gently used. A lot of knickknacks come in. They have cards, jewelry, secondhand purses. Yeah, it's a lot of just different things, and it's great prices, and it is always hopping when it's open.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about seniors, and it's not that seniors don't like to shop, and I think sometimes, people shop because they're bored. They just think, oh, well, I just go and go shopping today. But in the biggest sense, seniors don't need much.
No.
When we get right down to it, what do we really need? Underwear. You can't usually buy that used.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's we need underwear. We need a couple new pairs of shoes a year, maybe. But if I never shopped again and lived to be 143, I'd never run out of stuff to wear.
Well, and I find that there's quite a few of them that's only the only place that they can go sometimes to get certain things, like for gifts or anything.
Right,
yeah.
right. But a little something that's even gently used, and maybe a little knick-knack for a granddaughter,
Exactly.
or something that says, this is what I was thinking about
Exactly.
you. I think that's a great idea. I know that you've got a group going on there called History Through Biographies.
Oh, yes, that's another popular. Mike Adolph, he is a retired history teacher, and I'd say he has about 15 to 20 in there that are regulars. Now, you'll have some that'll come in and out, but they have a board that he comes up with a new board every time of different people for them to research. He'll focus on someone that he'll talk about in the class, but then he kind of has them, do the board, do your own research, see what you can find, and then they share it.
Okay, so it's not about them.
No, it is not about them.
It's about a particular person in history.
Yeah, historical figures, present and past.
Right. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And didn't you guys, or maybe this was before you got there, weren't you kind of doing a kind of people were like writing their own autobiographies?
We have a writing group that meets once a month, and some of them are doing their own biography. Some of them are doing their own poetry. Yeah.
And I think I think that's all very important. And of course, today with the videos and the little cameras you can use, you can set up and you can do your own little sit down of this is Grandma talking, and I'm going to tell you my story.
Well, and that's it's so important because I recently had my grandfather pass away, and as a kid I loved listening to his stories, and I always fear that as times are changing, that the youth are coming in, that they might not be caring as much. And I think if they would just take a moment and listen, they'd realize what interesting pasts that their grandparents have had. I was talking to a senior just a couple weeks ago, and he came over from Poland, and he was I guess you would consider a professional soccer player over there before he came over.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it was just listening to talk. He loved soccer. He came over here, ended up coaching over here for a handful of years. But
something that maybe, and we always wished, as our grandparents were telling us those stories, and we were sitting there going, yeah, sure, Grandma, yeah, sure, Grandpa, and your parents would tell you something, and you would kind of go, oh yeah, I've heard that for the 40th time. When they're gone, you wish you would have written that down.
It's so true. So true.
Because there's so much there about them that really reflects on how you are today. So, yeah. And I actually started writing my own.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
I maybe got it through about 10 pages, and then I got bored with myself, so but it is kind of, Now tell us a little bit about your wood shop work over there.
Oh, our wood shop. I go in there, and there are contraptions that I've never seen before. They have everything. When we have new people that are coming in, they come in, there's like their kids in a candy store when it comes to the equipment that we have in there. So they work on pieces together. Sometimes we'll have seniors come in saying, hey, I need something cut down. They'll always help them cut something down if they have the right equipment for it.
Right.
We also, we have wood carving stuff as well. We have a wood carving group that meets on Mondays, and so they're the whittling wood and doing the sanding and stuff in there.
And of course, you haven't been here that long, but when you get a little bit more acclimated, and this September, when they go to the Sandwich Fair, there is a whole in one of the arts and crafts buildings, you will see the tremendous amount of woodworkers that are in this area.
Yeah.
And the carvings and the work that some of these people do are
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yes. We had a cane making class that they did last year, and we had about 5 or 6 people that decided that they were going to do their own cane, and some of the canes that came out were just beautiful.
Right.
With the time that they put into them. I was amazed.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, I don't know if I would have the patience to do that.
Yeah, but you have to be patient. And I've thought a little bit about that woodwork class. I have a little something special project I'm going to. I either need to do it myself, figure out how to do it myself, or hire somebody to do it. But it's going to be kind of a special gift for some close family friends that I had, and I've got to make several of them. But anyway, we'll get to that some other time. You also do a lot of work with your seniors on financial education.
Yes, once a month we always have one class that we do to focus on something specific.
And I suppose that with the market that's been kind of rocked lately, you probably have a lot of seniors that get pretty nervous about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I think this month we're doing securities and bonds that they do. They've done on financial longevity. I mean, you name it, they've had something that they try to focus on to help seniors, to help the family members help their parents,
Right.
you name it.
You know, and I think one of those other things that kind of scares you, you can go online and you can put in, how long will my money last?
Yes.
And, you look at what it costs today and then what it might cost in 10 years and what it might cost in 15 years. It's a good question to start asking yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And most of the seniors that you're serving over there, what do you think the average age is? Just take a wild guess.
I would say probably between 70 and 73.
Really, that's the average age.
I would say that's
And,
average.
it would not be unusual for a lot of those people to live into their 90s.
Oh, not at all.
So people who don't have a big health history of bad things probably can expect to live to be well over 85. And I'm sure that is a big concern to a lot of people. Now, who is it? Brian LeClaire and somebody else usually comes in and talks.
David Erickson.
Okay, and they come in once a month.
Once a month.
Okay.
It's usually the second Tuesday of the month.
Okay, yeah, I see that. You have that down for the 10th of April for that.
Yes.
The memory screening. How often do you have people come in that actually come in?
We just have recently started doing that, and Sandy's the one that is doing them, and she's having 2 or 3 people come in for each time she has it scheduled.
And she does just a very basic thing where she maybe says, I'm not the expert, but maybe you ought to think about maybe seeing a doctor about this. Right. And, I think that's you got to start somewhere. And a lot of times people would rather start in an area that they're very comfortable with.
Correct.
Listen, Kelly, we got to take a little bit of a break. Folks, we'll be right back with Kelly Woodward, who is the Activities Director over at Oswego Senior Center. We're excited to have her. I think you would be excited to meet her and to partake in some of the really great stuff they have going on over there all the time. Stick with us. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
could do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of him.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Fox Valley Today. I'm Anne Vickery. I'm here with Kelly Woodward, Activities Director from the Oswego Senior Center in Oswego. We're talking about some of the things that go on over there, not only on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Kelly has recently come over to the Oswego Senior Center. She was a resident of Mississippi, came up to Oswego. Her husband got a new job, and Lorraine, good old Lorraine, retired, and Kelly stepped in. So we're glad to have you. I notice you're having a course on criminology.
Yes.
This isn't exactly a special victims unit, but
No. It's just going to focus on like the sociology of criminology. Mark McGowan, he's our, he does multiple classes in the center.
Right.
So it's something that he knows a lot about it. He's studied about it, and he's had people ask for a class on it.
Right.
So he's willing to do it. So.
well, you know, I think if nothing else, when you're talking about stuff like that, you know, I know the Sheriff's Department and the Oswego Police Chief come in, and they talk about identity theft and stuff like that. But I think really what people really need to concentrate on is their awareness of what's going on around them and some things that may not seem just right, you know? And that doesn't mean you got to become paranoid,
Right.
but maybe just raising the awareness. So tell me so far what you enjoyed the most about being over there.
Honestly, it's the seniors there. This has been the most fulfilling job I've ever had in the short time that I've been there. The interesting people that you meet, they're so open, loving, caring, and I'm in a position where I'm seeing them enjoy themselves. You know, they're coming in, having their meals. It's their social time. Everyone seems happy. They get excited when there's a new class, like for the criminology. It's just very enjoyable.
And you come up with some other ideas, and you're also going to be doing some trips coming up, right?
Oh, yep, always have
Did you
trips.
bring a list of any of them?
I don't have the list with me. I can spout off a few.
Okay, go ahead.
We have Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is going to have the Garden of the Gods as a tour. The Air Force Training Academy, that they can do a tour of that. The Olympic Training Center is on that as well. And that is in August. And I've got quite a few people already signed up for that one. We have a Cape Cod trip in September.
Oh, that should be great.
And we already have our first bus full. And I have reached out to Diamond Tours, is who we're doing that with. And they are looking into getting a second bus for me so I can start filling that up, because I have a waiting list of like 20 more people.
Okay,
That
and how
one
many
seems
people-
very popular.
How many people so far are signed up?
52 fill a bus.
Really?
Mhm.
That is quite.
So I have 52, and then I now have 20 waiting to see if I can get that second bus, and I'll probably have that second bus full.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's a popular trip. I get questions on it every day.
And it's a beautiful time to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that is something.
And they're like, I'm doing Washington, D.C. That one's already closed, but in a couple weeks we'll be in D.C. with a group. I've got.
And you're traveling with them all the time too.
When it's the bus tours, I do get to go with them, because I'm the one making sure that they're getting to and from where they need to be.
And you're the one that collects all the emergency data.
Yes.
If anybody has a problem, and you kind of are aware of anybody's special needs. on something like that. Is bingo still really big over there?
We have 25, 30 people for bingo every Monday and Thursday after lunch.
You know, I've noticed that some of the bingo for some of the charitable organizations has kind of dropped off. They just, they can't get the help anymore to do the calling and to, you know, just be there on staff to wait on that. So I kind of wondered how you guys were doing on that too.
Oh, we have 3 great callers. And if none of them are available, sometimes we have a sponsor that comes in, they bring the prizes, and they'll have a caller come in. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, but it still takes some extra work. Now, I would imagine this time of year, you guys get a lot of questions about taxes.
Oh, yes.
Are
So
you-
we have the VITA program that where we have a group of people that come in and they do taxes for free for the ones that qualify. And it starts in February, you know, ends the last Monday before taxes are due.
Right.
Fills up very fast.
I'm sure that it does.
In fact, I know we're full.
Right, I'm sure that it does.
Yes.
It's one of those things that, you know, and for the most part, a lot of the seniors don't need to do any kind of a long form. It's a short form.
Yes.
Their incomes are pretty set. They have their pensions, their Social Security, or maybe some income from, you know, from some investments, but it doesn't have to be long form.
Right.
It's not that big of a deal. Your bridge club is still pretty popular.
Yes, it is.
I want to ask you a question. From your estimation, people who play bridge, they got to have a pretty sharp mind.
They do.
And you know, I've known some ladies who've been playing bridge, and they're well into their 90s.
Yeah.
And they are sharp, and they are somebody to be reckoned with when you get into some
absolutely.
of those card games.
And that, how many years it takes you to just be really good at
Good
bridge.
at bridge,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, it's not a game you learn overnight.
Oh, it is not a game you learn
No, it's
overnight.
not.
It takes time.
Now, what kind of crafts are you doing over there?
We have our ceramics
Uh-huh.
that we do. Candy Keeling, she runs that, and she's very talented, so she teaches them with the painting techniques and whatnot. So they buy their piece that they want to work on, and they paint. She burns. We have our knitting and crocheting group that meets.
That and coloring has picked up.
Yes, yes.
We talk. I talk to different librarians, and they say you would just be surprised the people who are coming in and they're coloring and creating this artwork all of a sudden. It's just amazing.
So we have an art class that's been going on.
Yeah, that's
a daughter of one of our ladies that works up there. She is a art major, and so she comes in and she's been teaching painting and watercolors and.
yeah, that is a lot of fun for a lot of people. You also are you still having some of the young people come in and talk about some of the mobile device?
We have a mobile device gal named, her name is Rachel Evans, and she's actually the granddaughter of our computer lab gentleman. And she comes in every Tuesday, and she helps them with their tablets and their mobile phones.
Yeah.
So she has 3 appointments that she usually fits in every Tuesday.
Yeah, that is really amazing. Well, Kelly, thank you very much for coming over. We'll look forward to having you back again, and maybe next time bring a little schedule of some of those trips, and we can
I'll
talk
have a
little
bunch of
bit
trips.
more of that.
Absolutely.
Because I know you're just kind of getting your feet wet over there. So
Day trips,
Yep.
you name it, yes.
Okay, and the people can always call over to the Senior Center?
Yes.
Number is 630-554-5602.
5602.
Call over there, get involved. Thank you very much for joining Fox Valley today. We'll see you next time.